Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Influence Podcast. I'm Jordan Banderas, and before we begin, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my episodes. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video on whether the welfare system is meant to keep people in poverty or not. I received a lot of messages from people sharing their thoughts on the matter, which actually got me thinking. So I decided to do some research and figure out what exactly is going on with the welfare system, because I heard a lot of stories from the people that were messaging me. I talked to a few people that I know, and they told me different things from the system, right? But there's one message that I received that said this. It said, the welfare system was created to provide aid to people in need, but some argue that it's not helping them get out of poverty. Instead, it's keeping them trapped in a cycle of dependency. Now, the system provides assistance without requiring people to find jobs or learn new skills, making it difficult for them to become financially independent, which, based on some of the things that I've been told, that is true. Also, on this email that I received, it said that it turns out some studies indicate that people can make more money staying on welfare than by working, which means they have less motivation to find a job and support themselves, which obviously it's one of the main things that people actually complain about. And I can totally see why. Now, the last part that the actual email that I received said, and I totally agree with this, was that the person is not talking that, or is not saying that the welfare system is entirely bad, which is not, because it does help people who are struggling. However, I believe we need to scrutinize how it's structured and make changes. We should be doing everything possible to encourage self-sufficiency and financial independence. Don't you agree? Now, this is the email that I received, which I totally understand where this person is coming from, the person that messaged me, and I agree, especially with the last point, because you know what's interesting? From what I've been told, when you apply for assistance, they talk to you in a way that makes you feel like they want to approve you, like they want you to be part of the system. It's almost like they're coaching you on what to say, what to provide, and all of these things. And once you're approved, they don't really check up on you that much to see if your situation has changed, except when it comes to unemployment. So if they're not going to check up on you or anything like that, honestly, you won't really care. And once you start getting help without any questions asked, you kind of get used to it. Let's be honest. We create a bad habit of just receiving. We create this entitlement where we're like, you know what? I deserve it. I'm American. I'm this, I'm disabled. I don't have a job. I have a bad life. So I deserve to get the help. And because of that, you start to think that it won't go away because now you're expecting it. So you become comfortable with the situation. And when that happens, why risk losing that help by getting a job? Also, if all you do is get help without any idea of how to get out of the financial hole you may be in, then how are you supposed to get ahead? If you are struggling financially because you don't know how to manage money and the system gives you food stamps, they pay for your rent, they do all of these things, how are you going to be able to manage that on your own? You understand what I'm saying? So I honestly believe that the system is not doing what it's supposed to. But the worst part of the welfare system is that the moment they know or figure out that you have crossed that threshold to get help, they take the benefits away. And it happens. It doesn't happen very often, as much as people would like it to be, but it does happen, because I know this from a friend of mine. He was on welfare due to a hardship. It's just him and his wife. They don't have kids or anything like that. And they have 2 cars, one of which is paid off. So one day he had to call welfare and ask a question about the benefits, because he didn't really know what it was covered and what wasn't. So he doesn't know exactly what led to this, but he ended up telling them that one of his cars was paid off after he applied for the benefits. And a few days later, he received a letter saying that the benefits were terminated due to him or them not having enough debt. So how messed up is that? That you're getting the help, you're floating literally on this hardship, like this ocean of hardships that it's life pretty much. And all of a sudden, they take that away because you're not broke enough. Instead of them saying, like, you know what, you have paid off your car, let's help you make that money last longer. Let's help you stretch that money more, because now you don't have a car payment. But instead they're like, you know what, you don't have enough debt to be on the system, get out. Like, we're gonna cut off the help, and now you have to be on your own. Now, mind you, my friend still has a hardship. He needed this help, but now according to the threshold, he's not broke enough. So the system is going to help you as long as you show that you're broke enough. That's why a lot of people lie when they do their applications. They hide money, they hide assets, because, or they say that they don't have things paid off, things like that, because the more broke they show, that's how they get qualified for the help. So, in my opinion, something needs to be done, because the system doesn't really help, as you can see with information that I gather. The government could try to audit every single recipient, and if they are able to work, even if they have a disability and want to work, the government should pay for them to learn a skill that will help them become financially independent. I think that's a good idea, don't you think? And right now, there is a huge shortage of primary care physicians and nurses. And a lot of nurses and doctors have left the profession because they have said that there's not enough help due to the shortage of people not wanting to get into that profession. So let's just say, this is a good place to start, but let's just say, we tell people that are on welfare, that are in a financial hold, the government says to them, you know what, we will help you, but we want you to go to school. Right now, there's a shortage of nurses and doctors. We will pay for your school. We will still help you, but you're going to learn a new skill. And once you get a job, the help goes away. I don't see a problem with that. And you may say, like, oh, well, I don't want to be a nurse, I don't want to be a doctor. Hey, that's fine. There are plenty of skills that are needed right now. Web developer, prompt manufacturer for AI. I think, who was it? Netflix, I believe. They were going to pay, or they're paying $900,000 for somebody that knows how to do prompts. And I mean, it's not that hard to make the right prompt, but if you get, let's say, a schooling for it, and you get paid $900,000 for just creating prompts to test their AI or whatever, don't you think that's a good amount of money for a skill that is needed? because everybody's using AI. So why are we not using our resources for that? I think that's a great, great idea, because it will get rid of a lot of the shortages when it comes to people not wanting to work. Because let's be honest, there's a lot. And look, the reason why I also wanted to talk about this is because according to the Social Security Administration, there are 65 million people on welfare. And when I read this, I was like, whoa. So my question to you is, don't you think that a few of them can learn a new skill and work? Because honestly, let's talk about this. I wouldn't rely on the government for help, because a lot of politicians right now want to cut welfare for as much as 30%. So even if you really depend on welfare, you're going to be affected by the budget cuts at one point. And there are so many things that the government can do where they can help people get out of the system. So the system is not strained, because 65 million people in the system, that's going to put a lot of strain on the system. And if there are budget cuts of 30%, you're not going to get the same help that you're getting right now. So you need to start thinking about that. That's something that I actually think about, because as you guys know, my wife is sick. We have a lot of bills and everything like that. We're like drowning on medical debt. And I'm doing everything I can to not get on the system. Because to me, the system is not going to help me. Especially because, let's say I do something, I manage my debt or anything like that, and I'm able to pay off things. And they know, and somehow they figure out that they're going to kick me out. But what if I still need the help? So I don't want to rely on the government for help. I don't want to rely on that. So this is just one idea that I came up with. Because if I was in the system and the government says, hey, we will pay for you to learn a skill so you can get a job, I will fucking do it. I don't care. You know? If I have to become a nurse, if I have to become a web developer or AI engineer, whatever, something that will make me money, I will fucking do it. And for free, where I don't have student debt or anything like that, I will fucking do it. But if you have any ideas of how the government can really help people that need welfare, let the politicians know, because if you pay attention to everything that's happening in Washington D.C., you can really tell that they don't know what to do. They think that budget cuts are going to fix the problem, but they're not, because a lot of people are going to get kicked out of the system of welfare, people that might actually need it. And once they get kicked out, there's no other help for them. So that's even worse. You know what I'm talking about? So let your politicians know. If you have an idea, let them know. Remember, they work for you. They work for you. So if you have an idea that is going to help them make their job better, even if it makes them look good, let them know. Even if you hate them, let them know. Because 65 million people, 65 million Americans are going to need some kind of idea to get out of the system, especially when there's budget cuts on the line. And they may get kicked out of the system. And then still, they're going to be broke. They're not going to be able to do anything about it. And then they're going to fall into a deeper financial hole. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk on today's episode. That's it for today. Thank you for everything. I hope this video has provided some insights into the complexities of the welfare system. Remember to keep an open mind and engage in respectful discussions in the comments below. And remember to like, share, subscribe. and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any of my content. And here are my final thoughts. The government won't help you forever. And until next time, have a great day.